Hey everyone, thank you so much for making it this far into the Buyer's Cheat Sheet video series. I appreciate your continued interest. Hopefully you're finding it to be a very valuable resource. So right now we're going to talk about the counter offer stage. So what you've done to this point is you found a great agent, video 1. Video 2, you've gotten pre-approved and completed the home search process. Video 3, parts 1 and 2, you wrote the offer and submitted it with all the necessary paperwork. And now we come to the counteroffer stage. So counteroffer has a little bit of a stigma I've seen out in the field where a buyer is sometimes disappointed that the offer wasn't accepted. But what I've found is if an offer is accepted without a counteroffer, that to me means that you were not aggressive enough with that offer. The fact that the seller snapped up the first offer you gave them probably means you paid too much for the property in most cases. So with that in mind, once you get a counter, it's a little confusing to some people, and let me shed some light on it. What a counteroffer is, in essence, is an acceptance of the original terms in the actual offer you wrote, with the exception of the terms listed in the counteroffer. So what you'll usually see on a counteroffer is a counterback on price. Sometimes, rarely, you'll see it on deposit. You might, even more rarely, see something about a down payment. Pretty commonly, you'll see something about the time period. For example, they want you to remove all contingencies within 2 weeks or even 10 days at times, depending on how hard they want to push. Maybe they have some deadlines they're trying to meet. They're closing on their next house, or they found their next house and they're ready to move forward with it. They just want to make sure that you are committed to the property a little sooner to make that a little easier for them. So with that in mind, I want to re-emphasize some of the issues we discussed in the offer, meaning give them terms and take price. So what I do on the counteroffers typically is I let them have any terms. For example, seller wants contingencies removed within 14 days or even 10 days. Seller wants this escrow company, like we discussed. That doesn't really matter because, as I told you, 6 months from now the terms won't really matter. The vast majority of any terms you might put on there won't matter 6 months from now, but what will matter 30 years down the line when you finally pay off the loan on schedule is the price, because you're going to be paying more than twice that amount with compounding interest over the life of the loan and in property taxes, so you add that on top as well. And one other thing on the counteroffer, you want to give them a 36-hour maximum, once again, to respond, just so you can minimize the chance of them using your interest in writing as leverage with any other interested parties that might be sitting on the sidelines. So one other thought I didn't mention when I taped the first segment of this video is if you're going to give up the time I should say, and you're going to shorten any sort of time period, make sure you insert in your counter to their counter, aka the second counter offer, that you want the disclosures the day after acceptance. That way everything is nice and smooth. Any kinks that might come up in the disclosures, maybe you want a little more information, you want the seller to elaborate a little more, you'll have plenty of time to get that done, and there'll be no bad blood, and that will prepare for a nice outcome when you ask for a credit on the request for repair, which in most cases you will.